Hey man, hello and welcome to Relaxed Mel. So this week we're going to be talking about what direction are you looking at life from? Are you looking through the rearview mirror or are you looking through the windshield? We're going to do that and the question of the week on Relaxed Mel. Hello and welcome to Relaxed Mel, podcast that helps men change their relationship with themselves. I am your host, Brian, and I am a men's life and mindset coach who is here to help you understand that you don't have to suffer at your own expense. You can live your dream, and I encourage you to set, then pursue your goals. So join me as I change the mindset and attitudes of men so that they can be the leaders of their families and their destinies. Hey man, hello and welcome to Relaxed Mel. All right, so great episode that we have today. I'm going to be talking about an item that I've seen come about a few times. Actually, it was inspired by a question that I came across on a Facebook group that was actually, talking about what are you living your life like you're losing time? Are you Are you disappointed on where you're at? And we're going to be diving into that and the whole analogy of are you looking? Are you looking in your rearview mirror? Or are you looking in the windshield? Can't talk today. This is going to be fun. So anyhow, that'll be the discussion for the main topic. But before I started, I just wanted to say, if you didn't have a chance to listen to my discussion that I had with Triplineer on episode 39, man, go out and do it. Trip is such a great guy and a thought leader when it comes to changing how you approach life, and why we don't want to live life in such a small way. We're too busy playing it small when we need to start looking and going for the big things, getting out there and getting out of our comfort zone, getting uncomfortable, doing that thing that, scares us a bit. And so it's a great thing, a great discussion that we had, and just changing the way we think so that we can actually help our sons to change how they think and they approach life and help them to become a lot more confident. But, so before we start, we have our question of the week. And if you have a question, I'd love to be able to hear what the question is. You can ask it by going over to relaxedmel.com/contact and fill out the form, send that over. Or if you want to just send a good ordinary old fashioned email, you can do that by going over to or sending an email to brian@relaxedmel.com. That's Brian with a Y at relaxedmel.com. So today's question got from Cora, and the question was asked by, I feel like my boyfriend still likes his ex-crush, but when I ask about it, he would say that he doesn't have feelings for her anymore. How can I test if he still likes her? Okay. This fits in real good with what we're going to be talking about today. But I responded with the question like this: why do you want to test him? And a lot of us want to do, these types of things where I would just want to test to see if they love me or not. No, if they're with you, there is a type of love. If there's not if he's not displaying a type of love, that isn't on him. There is a set of circumstances that are happening there. Now, those circumstances could be a lot of different things. Now, she could be that she's dated a guy or multiple guys who have ended up leaving her for their ex-crush, and she's focused in on the what ifs. What if this is, what if that, what if he doesn't love me? And there's nothing that she can do and nothing you can do to make another person love you more, to turn your back on who they love, except for one simple thing. And that's if you actually love yourself, if you are happy with who you are and happy with yourself and happy with the circumstances, if he leaves, then you're fine with it. You're okay with it, actually, if he leaves. It sounds really counterproductive to say it like that, but it's actually kind of a true way of thinking, because if you are able to, like I wrote in my blog post last week, if you choose love, you're going to be okay with whatever the person is doing. If you love them completely, if they leave you to go chase after their ex, all right, great. I love you, and I hope the world that gives you everything that you desire. You're able to just love them for the fact that they're there. But if you're a person of happiness and you're a person of love, and that's what you choose to feel, you feel love, you feel all the warmth and bubbliness and joy that feeling love brings, you're able to go and make yourself happy. You're not having to worry about your relationship with somebody else to make you happy, because, well, first off, they can't. It's impossible for somebody to make you happy. It's impossible for someone to make you feel loved. Your ability to love is completely upon you. If you are able to love or be lovable, you're able to love no matter what. And to be in a state where you feel love for your boyfriend, or in men's cases, your girlfriend, you're not going to have a problem with somebody else looking the other way. You're actually going to attract them to you more if you find that you can make yourself happy. A lot of people who are not happy, you've heard the saying, hurt people hurt people. And so if you're not happy, that emotion is going to show forth, and that's going to cause issues with the other person. It's not that you're making them feel, they're reacting to your actions. The action that you do is going to cause them to have their own separate set of thoughts. That's a lot of times why, if you're struggling with something and you're not having a open conversation, an open dialogue with your partner in life, they're going to end up thinking the worst possible things for us as humans. We just have a tendency to do that. There was somebody else. They're going to leave me. They don't want to be around me anymore. All these different thoughts that run through our brains. When in all reality, it's not that. It's just, we've got something on our mind and we're processing through it. When in reality, yeah, they may still actually love you, but because your actions are showing something else, they start to think that you don't love them. They're feeling a lack of connection, and that causes the bonds of that relationship to deteriorate. If that happens, you can always change how that thought is. You can change the originating thought of whatever your problem is. Instead of going, well, there's nothing wrong. We're fine. You can change that to I'm fine. You're fine. We're fine. But if you can keep a happy line level of emotion, and you can choose happiness for yourself, you can make yourself happy, you're not going to have nearly the problem of making sure that you emote happiness and love, and that other person will actually be drawn to that light that you're showing forth. So I gave the question asker the advice of stop living in the past, because if she has had times where guys in the past have pined away for the one that got away, her insecurities about herself are going to shine forth, and they're going to see that action is not helping their relationship. And so those bonds are going to break off, and they're going to fade away, and they're going to go to their crush. Maybe their crush shows a little bit of a hint of a sign, and so they're going to go for her or go for him. Well, if you make yourself happy, you're going to emote a more loving action, and that's going to cause them to stay closer with you. And so that's, as a whole, looking back and obsessing over what happened in the past is not going to help you nearly as much as just going forth and loving yourself and being in the moment and looking to the future, because that's the direction you're heading. You're always heading forward. Yeah, the past may have some good points, but it's nowhere near as important as who you're living your life with right now. And if you make yourself happy, you're going to have that other person be attracted to you. So now let's tie that in with the main topic, which is what we'll do now. So the main topic is, are you living life through a rearview mirror, or are you living life through the windshield? So the first time I come to the knowledge of this analogy of the windshield and the rearview mirror was actually from my old boss, Jim Rogers. He is a man who has some incredible words to apply to stuff at times. And I had just gone through and had self-sabotaged a great position that I had finally worked myself to. And Jim had given me a shot, and I summarily screwed it up. And because of that, I was talking to him about it, and he said, there's a reason why the rearview mirror is smaller than the windshield. And that's because the important stuff is in front of us. And that was so true to, in the ringing of that statement, that I've really tried to apply that to my thinking and my life's philosophy. We spend so much of our time worrying about what happened to us in the past. We look in the past. We wish we hadn't have screwed this up. We wish we hadn't have screwed that up. Why did that have to happen to me at that particular time? We worry about everything that has happened behind us. We define ourselves by the tragedies that happened to us. So much of the society nowadays is so focused in on being the victims. So I was victimized 20 years ago by somebody. I was, the whole Me Too movement, people come out of the woodwork saying such, so-and-so did a horrible thing to me 35 years ago. Now, is it bad that something happened to them? Yes. There's no disputing the fact that there was something that inappropriately happened. But to try to live in the fact that happened, and to live in that particular world where you're constantly reevaluating, going over the problem or the tragedy, the trauma that came upon you at that time, doesn't serve you in today's instance. You can have it serve you, but to be able to do so, you have to accept that it's happened. People suffer from PTSD. Because they are constantly replaying that tragic event in their head in hopes that they can save their friend or save themselves from that trauma. And in all reality, you can't. That trauma is going to always be in the past. So if you're sitting there saying, "Hey," and worrying about, well, I was a victim of a theft. I was mugged in the middle of Times Square, just for a big city jumped in my head. I was mugged in Times Square while walking down the street at 5:00 in the afternoon. Okay. You can either just describe yourself as a victim of a mugging for the rest of your life and always walk around thinking that everybody in the world's has got a gun in their pocket and they're waiting for your $2.50 in your pocket, and you can live a life of fear, or you can actually go out and you can live life. You can look in that little bitty mirror that shows us what happened in our past, or we can actually look through the windshield and see all the great grandeur that is in front of us. Yeah, the past has some importance to us. It is important for knowledge. We have that experience that we can draw off of, but that doesn't mean that defines us. That doesn't mean that that's who we are to be. You can be anybody you want to be. You just have to apply the desire to look out of the windshield and not look and try to drive your car by looking in the rearview mirror. Driving your life in the rearview mirror never accomplishes near as much because you don't have the full picture. You have just what you're focusing in on. That little bitty slit of a mirror that shows what happened behind you, what's behind you. Now, like I said, it's important because you might have a police car coming up behind you. You may have an ambulance coming up behind you. You may have somebody driving erratically coming up behind you. So you can look back there, but don't dwell back there. Because if you're looking at that, you're not paying attention to where your life is leading you. Your life may be destined to have one of the greatest events and greatest stories ever written. But if you're focused in on the past, you're going to veer off course. You're not going to have the other experiences that come about because you took the time to pay attention to what's going on in front of you. You spent all your time dwelling in the past, dwelling on what could have been, what should have been. No one wants to be should upon, including yourself. Don't should on yourself. Shoulding never works. No one wants to hear it, honestly. How many times have you heard someone say, well, you should be doing it this way? And what do you normally think? And who are you? You really don't care what somebody has to say if they're saying you should be doing X, Y, and or Z. And that person includes yourself. I should have known that guy was coming up behind me with a gun. I should have seen, the problems. There was warning flags all over. Yeah, hindsight may be 2020, but it is a very limited 2020. Your life and your son's life and those who are in your life, what they is doing now, living in the now, looking to the future is far more important, far more beneficial when you drive your car by looking through the windshield. Live your life looking through the windshield. Don't worry about concentrating all your attention on that little bitty piece of mirror that is the rearview mirror, because you're gonna miss the important stuff. You're gonna miss the good things that are happening in your life because you're looking behind you all the time. So I want to thank you so much again for listening to this show, listening to this particular episode. If you like this show and you like the episode, do me a favor and do yourself a favor, actually, and click subscribe. You can go to relaxedmail.com/subscribe. And there is a myriad of ways that you can actually subscribe to the show, depending on what app you have, whether it's Good Pods or if it's Castro, or if it's Pocket Cast or Overcast or any of those. If it's Android or iPhone, doesn't matter. I've got a way for you to be able to subscribe to the show. So you get this, every new episode that comes out downloaded to your phone or to your listening device, and they are ready for you to consume at a moment's notice. If you like the show and want to try to help the show become, to grow and to become more well known and to have a larger community, I would recommend going to iTunes and subscribe to or go to Apple Podcasts and click subscribe there. That helps me raise up in the rankings there. but also you can help me by leaving a rating and review. That doesn't get me up in the rankings so much as it just shows social proof that I put out good content and that people are able to, and that I provide a good show for other folks to listen to. If you don't have an Apple account, that's fine. Also, I actually recommend more that you go to podchaser.com/relaxedmail, or you can actually go to relaxedmail.com/podchaser, PODCHASER, and you can leave a rating and review there. That also is another way for people to be able to help discover the show and for the community to grow. So guys, thank you again for listening. Y'all have a great week. I will see y'all next Thursday. So till then, have a wonderful one. Talk to you then. Bye.